Hello and welcome to Adventures with Amarynthe. I'm your host, Amarynthe theEternal, and I'd like to invite you on a series of adventures, starting with the first one, titled Just Why. This episode is about why I've decided to do this in the first place. What maybe come on and even try to start a channel, followed by some other projects. All my life, I've been geared towards being more artistic, and unfortunately, though I had a wonderful family, they were not creative in that way, and so I got a lot of get your head out of the clouds, what do you think you're going to do? And after a while, you start to believe, hey, maybe they're right. I don't know what in the world I'm doing. And it's taken me a lot of time to pick up my paints again, to start writing again, to even think creatively. You know, began a few years ago, actually, when I started making leather products. Funny enough, I made myself moccasins, which 4 years later are still running strong. But you may remember what I had fun with doing creatively, which is, you know, coming up with your own spin, your own characters, your own ideas. For quite a while now, I've been part of what I call Throwback Thursdays. It's your basic RPG night. You know, those things where the computer isn't involved. You know, we're not talking about a multiplayer game, other than the fact that it's a bunch of people sitting around playing the same game. And with that crowd, it comes to backstory. You know, one thing you learn is backstory, backstory, backstory. What is your purpose for doing what you're doing? Well, my purpose for doing this is because A, I wanted to amuse myself. B, I've had people who have enjoyed stuff I've done in the past, memes and just some funny jokes and stuff that I've played that said, you know, why don't you do something like this? You know, you're funny, you could do something like that. You know, if some of these people can do it, why not you? And, you know, I'm lucky at this point in my life. I have a very supportive husband who said, go for it. Here, let me help you get set up. So it got set up. Now, I started thinking about doing this probably around January of this year. I mean, I watched YouTube for a while. For a long time, it was just lists. People who did lists. As a matter of fact, if you like that kind of stuff, you know, win in the bar bet with some obscure fact. Some of the best I've found are List 25 with host Mike, who is a very amusing man, and even though he's a little addicted to puns, but it's a very interesting grouping that they do. And I learned a lot of things. You know, I thought I knew a lot about, you know, animals or whatnot, but they come up with some facts that even I've never heard of, and have gone back and fact-checked to find that I was, you know, woefully stupid on that note, and they had it right. Other list people, Planet Dolan does a lot of lists, as well as some new freeform stuff via their Reddit site. And let me see, we've got Slapped Ham. Absolutely love Slapped Ham. He does some great lists, and he's a funny guy. Matt Santoro does a lot of good information, as well as a gentleman by the name of Rob Dyke, who does dark lists, I'd say. You know, he's one who does the top 10 psycho killers and stuff, which is currently, I guess, being scrutinized by YouTube and is causing problems for some of these people. And I really think that is unwarranted, as that it's no worse, and in a lot of cases a lot better, than what you can turn on your TV and watch. And unfortunately, I think that the advertisers are going to have to start to realize that not everybody has cable anymore. There's no reason for it. If you have an internet connection, you can have anything. So, like for me, I don't have cable, and if you're going to reach me with your advertisement, you're going to reach me through YouTube or my Facebook. So, I'm really hoping that that turns around for everybody. I mean, I know this is probably a dumb time to even be trying this, but I also figured at the same time, what is the worst that's going to happen? You know, it doesn't work. Oh, well, I tried it, you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And so in the whole list category, I actually had a guy by the name of Matthias with 2 T's, who I watched all the time. Anytime he put up a video, I was watching it. He's got, I guess, Team Edge. I have not actually watched, but Googly Eyes, which is a VR mixed reality kind of thing, and it's hilarious, especially when these games glitch. But he does a lot of really fun stuff. He's not like a fun facts guy. He's more of a, can you believe this stupid product exists guy. And he never fails to make me laugh. I enjoy the fact that he wounds himself every time he does a video. I mean, that's dedication to your audience. If you're willing to take a nut shot playing with some toy you got from China, that's dedication. But he, in turn, probably did what people are either going to decide was like the best or the worst thing to happen. He introduced a friend of his by the name of Markiplier. Now, I don't watch Let's Play. I didn't watch Let's Play. Didn't ever watch Let's Play. I tried watching some live streamers. I tried watching some other people from other channels I already belonged to doing the gaming. But none of them ever included the icon where you actually got to see the reaction of the player. And so they were boring. They were, after a few cusses, what's the point, You're just watching somebody else play a game that you probably want to play yourself. So, I went and watched this guy. He was so funny with Matthias. So I was like, all right, I'm going to check out this guy's site. And I have been in tears, almost on the floor, rolling around laughing since then. I mean, I think my overall mood has changed just because he is such a funny and very charismatic guy. I know probably 90% of the population of the earth knows who he is. Before December, I'd never heard of him. And he, in turn, did probably, kind of like a pyramid effect. He introduced me to people like Bob and Wade, whom he plays with a lot. They are funny in their own right. He also featured who is probably like my favorite loud, hyperactive, super happy Irishman, Jacksepticeye. I've never seen anything quite like him. And of course, eventually PewDiePie, who they all seem to function well together. And I know that everybody out there probably had already heard of PewDiePie. I hadn't. Like I said, I didn't do the Let's Play. I didn't know anybody was putting picture in game to make it fun or funny. I mean, let's face it, some of the faces these guys make and their reactions is pure comedy gold, So that was December. PewDiePie was my last big guy in December, beginning of December. And kerblam, this new guy from Sweden I'm watching, who has done nothing but make me laugh my ass off, is being accused by the Wall Street Journal, of all things, of being a racist. And I'm like, well, what is this? So I go, I look, I realize it's a bunch of malarkey, to be kind. And so I continue, of course, watching Mr. PewDiePie and liking his stuff and following his stuff because, I mean, he's done the work. The gentleman behind the character has done the work. He's had a couple of judgment call errors. You tell me anybody who hasn't. You point out one person who has never in their life had an error in judgment, and he better be walking on water and turning water into wine, because that's the only one I know of. So like I said, at that time, I almost went up on YouTube at that time just because I wanted to speak my mind, which I'm obviously doing right now. Just saying that unfortunately old media is not going to accept new media easily because they're biting your revenue is a bite back concerning their revenue because they're losing people. You know, I'm sorry to say, things like the Wall Street Journal, I'm sure a lot of their subscribers have moved beyond the need for financial advice from a newspaper. So they're lashing out, which is sad. But because of all that, that kind of was kind of like adding the acid to the battery. It was like, you know, I really could possibly do this. So like I said, I told my husband what I wanted to do. He's 100% behind me, set everything up. I mean, it's not, you know, a quality, polished anything. As a matter of fact, Adventures with Amarynthe on YouTube is probably going to be more of a vlog slash, like doing different challenges, the don't laugh, don't cry, don't cringe. I mean, I think I added cry, but they do don't laugh, don't cringe, which I've already had to put in rules concerning because my compiler is going to be my husband, and he possibly knows me pretty well, so there's a couple of cheats he can't use. But on top of that, I also would like to do some, like, just some gameplay here on YouTube, as well as possibly doing some live stuff, and would also, well, actually by the end of this month, hope to have a live stream gaming channel going for myself where I'll be doing, you know, different new games or games that people request. I want a lot of input from people, actually. I mean, what interests you? What would you like to see? I mean, I'm not doing any kind of lists because that involves a lot of fact checking and you know, just stuff that I would rather be putting time into other things. So none of that. You know, going to be doing some challenges, do some gameplay, do some live gameplay. In fact, with that, if possible, you know, if you have the I guess platform or whatever that I'm playing on, and you have the games that I have, you know, I would like to just randomly invite people from just general chat to come play. You know, it's fun to watch, but also fun to play. And, you know, all these new things are making that more and more possible. While at the same time, making this so broad that, unfortunately, you eventually do get to the point where you can't say, well, yeah, hi John, how you doing today? You know, why don't you hop in? We'll do something. So, I mean, we'll see where that progresses from there. You know, that's the idea here now at the beginning. And I would also, if I can ever get the hang of animation, also start up an animation channel that would be based around Amarynthe and a couple of other ideas I have on the sketchboard and storyboard, but have yet to be able to translate into an actual video format. So hopefully that would be the third point in what I'm doing here. And like I said, I hope that it's greeted, you know, in the spirit that it's offered, which is just fun and games, you know, chits and giggles, farting around, whatever you want to call it. And if you like it, hit like. If you think it's going to be worth watching, subscribe if you want. I mean, like I said, this is more of just a pet project than anything else. And last but not least, you know, it's people like us. It's that little kernel of weird that makes people get on here and do these silly things. So, you know, just remember, you know, let your weird light shine so the rest of us can find you. And thanks for your time. See you next time. Bye.